Tuesday edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello.
Good morning. I am Adebimpe Omotai. I was going to say something. Let me just keep it for now.
Good morning. I am Joy Ulu. Welcome to The Conversation.
Okay, I don't know what you wanted to say.
Did you sleep well?
But I was
We're even smiling this morning.
Do you know what Joy asked me yesterday? Why is Abimbola not smiling today?
I was on the edge.
I said,
yesterday.
must we smile every day?
I don't know. Yesterday was just, I don't know.
She was so worried. I will have to go to her office later
and
to
then
find out.
I know, right? I think it was just one of those days that you can't just place your hands on anything, but it just was just one moody day for me.
Anyway,
I
Abimbola,
snapped out of it anyway.
Anyway, your mood affects us.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Now,
Please.
Now I get it.
Stay
So
happy.
in the
always.
midst of it all, I would always try to mask it up and stay happy. Okay, thank you for solidarizing with me. All right, it's the show. Welcome. It's the Tuesday edition of the program. It promises to be quite an exciting one today. And of course, things happened yesterday that we should have an update about today. One of them is one of our news points for today. So perhaps we can just begin
with that,
on that note. And that is the fact that after the ordeal, our heroic boys finally returned to the shores of Nigeria, hale and hearty, and of course in very high spirit. And it was really obvious that all is not well with Libya. All is definitely not well with Libya. Remember that yesterday their head of football resigned because again the guy said, look, there's a problem and I don't want to be caught up in this highest authority problem, so I'd rather resign. And again that elicited a lot of
Debates.
reactions from Nigerians, and they started asking, if it be Nigeria, can somebody willingly resign in Nigeria? We left what was wrong.
No,
We caught up on that one again.
That's what makes us Nigerians.
We caught up on that again and started, rubbing up over ourselves again. Somebody has resigned. Can it happen in Nigeria? But bottom line is, CAF is now aware of the situation. They've now asked that, their disciplinary committee takes this particular look at this. But for me will be the fact that, again, Libya at the moment is a decisive country. There are two governments in that country as we speak, and it looks like, things are really, really on the edge. So that's just the update about yesterday. Everybody, even the international community, are asking for relevant punishment to be meted out to whoever is culpable here. But let's take the story, one of our news points for today. Heroic Eagles return home after 17 hours Libyan ordeal. Now, it was a show of shame at the Al Abrak airport in Al Abrak, Libya from Sunday to Monday as players and officials of Nigeria's senior men's national team were held hostage by Libyan authorities upon their arrival in the country ahead of today's 2025 AFCON qualifying Group D clash with the Mediterranean Knights. The Nigerian contingent was stranded for over 20 hours without food or water and completely shut out of the world. Nigeria had flown into Libya on Sunday afternoon, but were diverted to the Al Abrak airport, which is over 200 kilometers and 3.5 hours drive away from the planned campsite instead of Benghazi airport, their original destination. Of course, all of that can be read through there. And of course, for those who've been following the story, the media, the communications officer of the NFF also put out 20 points of what their ordeal was at the airport yesterday. Horrific side or horrific explanation from Mr. Olajiri or Dr. Olajiri yesterday. Ladies, for you, I mean, now that the boys are back and, just having a recall of what happened to them yesterday, I particularly liked that in all of that, their spirits were high, remained high, and they remained very positive and displayed a great sense of sportsmanship.
Yes, I do agree with you, Abimbola. Kudos to Trust Ekong, who,
Yeah.
you know, as the captain, carried the team, you know, very, very, very well. He carried everybody along. And for me, the Libyan football, is it federation or association now, them denying sabotage.
Nah.
Why?
It was an afterthought.
Why? Yes.
And then, you know, again, and that's why I said it doesn't look like all is well.
think all is
Libya
well
as we
with them.
speak. You know, they apologized, saying that it was not intentional.
It wasn't intentional.
It was due to certain circumstances. And later at night, another news broke that they were going to sue Nigeria for boycotting the game.
Exactly.
And I was wondering, hello,
Well,
what's going on?
when they even kept on saying, oh, you know, the abrupt or sudden diversion of a plane to that airport that is, you know, hardly used. And
It's not even an international airport.
it
It's for Hajj
is.
services.
It is just for Hajj services. And, you know, and they said, oh, the authorities, which authority?
Higher.
Is it higher? Is it the UN recognized authority or the other
It
one?
could be any. It could be any. And you know, if you doubted our boys, the pilot spoke.
Yes, I listened to him.
He spoke, and you know
I listened to him.
What even broke my heart yesterday while listening to the pilot was the fact that he also did say that the fuel he had could finish because the diversion was another 200 kilometers away from where they were originally to have landed, and they said they didn't care. Did they want to kill our boys? What if that plane had crashed?
For me, that was a planned.
I think they wanted to
It was
eliminate the
planned.
Super Eagles.
No,
I
you
think
can't
For
tell me
beating them
otherwise.
1-0.
Yeah, I
You
think,
can't tell me otherwise.
Oh no.
It was a planned
Oh
ploy.
no, oh no. But well, the boys are back, still awaiting CAF sanctions here, or you know, the investigations from CAF at the end of the day. But I do hope that, you know, this will not be treated with kids' gloves. If it could happen now, it means that it can happen to any African country. And you know, somebody also made something striking yesterday. If as Africans, we don't treat ourselves right, how can others treat us right?
Exactly.
So, all right, let's take your story, Adebimpe. Or do you still have something to say about this?
You know, that country, Libya, nothing good comes out. Nothing good comes out of that.
Nigerians in
Out
Libya,
of that.
run,
When you go to TikTok, you just hear all
run,
manner of complaints
because I know this is going to be a backlash. It will
about
come back
that
to-
particular
it will come back.
country.
It will come back to our citizens there. Okay, let's take your story.
This is coming from the Vice President and, of course, is empathizing with all of us. Hardship, no option to reforms if we must return Nigeria to a path of growth. Vice President Kassim Shettima has expressed compassion on behalf of himself and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the hardships Nigerians are facing due to the economic reforms. He said this at the economic summit held in Abuja. The Vice President said the reforms were crucial to achieving sustainable growth despite the challenges. He says, and I quote, "Our hearts go out to Nigerians, especially the poor and young, enduring difficult times," unquote. Shettima said, continue with the quote, "But we have no option if we must return Nigeria to the path of sustainable economic growth," unquote. He stressed that Nigeria's economy had been volatile over reliance on oil and unable to create enough jobs for the country's rapidly growing population. Shettima outlined the government's focus on diversifying the economy through sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and the digital economy to address the challenge. He also highlighted the government's efforts to support small and medium-sized businesses, improve infrastructure, and remove regulatory bottlenecks, adding that the administration has introduced single-digit interest loans for manufacturers and the new credit corporation to offer consumers loans to workers. I'll stop there. You know, it's just the Vice President is just generally, you know, as I said earlier, empathizing with Nigerians. They understand what we're going through, and they, on their own part, have tried to, cushion the effects of the hardships on Nigerians. Okay, I just hope your speech matches your body language.
Atibo, we have heard.
He said that it's really hard. It's really hard, It's really, really hard. But thank God, at least they're still talking. At least they're showing,
empathizing.
Yes, they're showing that they care, which is very important. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Eshe Atigbo, Ejo, but do more, sha. Like Oliver Twist, we're not even Oliver
We're
Twist.
not Oliver Twist.
We're not
Maybe
Oliver
when you
Twist, so what
have
am I
that
even
you
saying?
ask
We're
for
not
more.
Oliver
We're not
Twist.
Oliver
don't have
Twist.
anything.
We're not even
We don't
asking
even
for
have-
more.
we're not
We're asking
asking
for the
for more.
basics. This is not
We're not
about
Oliver
asking for
Twist,
more.
Jare.
This is just about asking for the basics.
For the
to be
basics,
done.
yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even want to say anything about that story. I want to waka pass.
No,
about that story.
Abibola, at least somebody is still showing some kind of care.
How does it affect the price of tomatoes in the
Please
market?
take the empathy to that.
Eh?
You should take it to the market.
Take that empathy to
We used to
that
have a
market.
president who said he had hearing problems.
Okay, so what do we have now? Okay, Mr. Vice President, we thank you for the empathy, but like Adebimpe said, it has passed empathy. Match your empathy, with action.
Action, yeah.
And
Action.
let it reflect on the lives of every Nigerian, because like we continue to say, there is no longer average. It's either you're either
Or you are
Or you are
or
there.
you're there.
Yeah,
And
here.
majority of us are here.
We are here.
It's powder, and my powder self is almost finished.
And the powder is
We
very
will
expensive.
come to the
expensive.
studio with
I've said it before.
No, we will go
we
back.
will come with our
We'll
bare
go,
faces.
we'll go back with to
Maybe when you begin to see
Oh my
our
God.
bare faces, you understand
Please, I don't want to see your faces. I
what we are
don't want to see your
going through.
natural faces. Joy, let's take your story.
Right, Lagos Speaker sets accountability benchmarks for lawmakers. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has counselled members of the House to ensure transparency and accountability in discharging their duty. He urged them to strengthen the legislative arm of government ahead of the future. He stated this at the opening of a 3-day budget retreat for lawmakers and staff of the House with the theme, Optimizing the Legislature's Power of the Purse for Effective Service Delivery in Lagos State. He challenged the lawmakers to commit to their legislative duties, leave lasting legacies for the future, and strengthen governance, responsibility, and accountability. Quoting him, he says, "What we do now is really not about us. It is for the totality of the system." Let me stop here. And I hope that they really understand that whatever they do, whatever decisions they make, is really not about them, but about the future.
I saw something. Obasa said this in Abeokuta.
Yeah.
What are they doing in
It's a
Abeokuta?
retreat.
Oh, yeah, I know it's a retreat.
It's retreat.
You know, sometimes it's good to change your environment.
So you
I
can
said for extra cost.
Well,
This is what I keep saying.
you use money to find money.
it
Extra
is-
cost. It will cost more to go to
Even
Abeokuta.
if they had just assumed that they were in another part of Lagos, it will cost them same fare to go there.
Yes.
There's no extra code in this one.
But not as...
It's called a retreat.
There's no extra code in
When you
this
go
one.
on retreat, you refresh.
That's why it's a treat.
I'm going
It's
to
a retreat.
Abeokuta to talk about Lagos issues.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Because in line with the fact that, of course, the lawmakers are trying as much as possible to be part of governance, let's also quickly let you know that today Mr. Governor is going to make history again. And any moment, not any moment, later on in the day, he will be, one of the passengers, the very first fee-paying passengers on the red line. And of course, that event will be right here on Lagos Television. So keep it locked down here on LTV as we bring to you the live coverage of Mr. Governor on the red line much later on in the day. Let's quickly head to the X platform and take a look at what's trending. So many things trending on that platform. But it looks like Nigerians are now quickly acclimatizing to how electricity supply now works. Yesterday, for the 6th time in 9 months, the national grid collapsed once again. And if you went on Twitter when it happened, you'll be amazed at how now Nigerians know that National Grid, is that you? Was that you knocking? Because it flickered and then it went off. And so maybe that again was a sign that a lot of people were waiting for, because that really got me rolling. Like, National Grid, is that you?
You know,
Nigerians
It was more or less like, oh, okay, you have come again. It's been
Nigerians
quite
are
a while.
so observant, you know.
yes, because this is something that we have experienced over and over again. In fact, someone was telling me this morning that he saw something online and they said, even Abiku never collapsed the way National Grid
I mean, the
collapsed.
owners of the collapse.
The owners of the collapse, they are learning.
I don't know. I don't know. It was a total collapse, and you know, part of the country yesterday were in total darkness. My power was restored at 2:45 a.m. Some are still not. Some still do not have power. I didn't think your power hasn't been restored.
No,
At
no,
all.
no, it has not.
And
been
Ogun
restored.
when I
State.
left home.
It has
Ogun
not
State,
been restored.
Ogun State, Ogun State. Wait,
Ah, what do you mean now?
we're talking about people in Lagos now. Ogun State, hey, wait.
Oh no! But I mean, it's sad. It's sad that I mean, in this age and time, we're still going to 0 megawatts. Yesterday, that was what happened. It went to 0
0.00.
megawatts.
Yeah.
And of course, that meant there was no electricity supply from the National Grid. And of course, EKEDC, that is Eco Disco, quickly put up a message. I think IKEDC also did.
Yes, they did.
Putting up a message that, you know, there has been a there has been a system collapse, and we're working with our partners to restore electricity. For those that have power now, congratulations. For those still are waiting power to be restored, congratulations to you as well.
You know what this Twitter children did again yesterday that I really found very, very amusing was bringing out the name and picture of the man that built the National Grid since 1960. Please, what
He's
is
a
it?
man, no. He's a man, not.
You kilo con.
He said he's an Igbo man.
What has
And
that
so?
got to do with the collapse
So?
of crying out loud?
Nigeria
No, you know, sometimes, and that's why, you know, you can't kill the spirit, the Nigerian spirit. We'll make light of situations. I mean, what do you want to do when you're overwhelmed? You just try to make yourself happy and just be good with the situation, until otherwise make depression no go pipe person.
So when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade.
Hey,
I know, right? So
preach it. Preach it, Joy.
okay, that's it this morning on news points as well as hashtag for today. We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, part one of the conversation here today. Again, we're weighing in on the Rivers crisis. Are there solutions in sight? Are there ways out of this political crisis? But again, if you look at issues around Rivers State, would you begin to say that, well, it looks like antecedent has a way of always rearing its ugly head in Rivers State? A lawyer, a political analyst will join the conversation after this short break.